Welcome back to another video. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show. MeiaSoQuick with the uploads. Intro's over. Subscribe before you go. Welcome back, it's MeiaSoQuick, and in today's video I am continuing on, what is this, day 8 of our 12 days of Christmas nail art. So first things first, I'm going to go in with this Beetles base gel and I'm going to apply that to the nail, and then I'm going to go ahead and let that cure for 2 minutes under the lamp. And for today's nail, I wanted to take a stab at doing these sweater nails, these velvet nails that have been trending all over everywhere. So next I'm going to go in with this 333, which is just kind of like this powder blue, and I'm just going to apply an even coat of this over the nail, and then once again I'm going to go ahead and let that cure. Okay, so as I say, yes, these sweater nails have pretty much been like everywhere, these velvet nails, and so I figured, you know, what better chance than right now in the winter to go ahead and see how this works out for me. So once I've got that coat fully on there and cured, I'm ready to go ahead and start with trying to get this design. So I'm gonna first go ahead and matte coat this nail, because I feel like most of the looks have like not been a shiny. You can do it with a shiny nail, but it has looked a lot better with this matte look. So I'm gonna go ahead and matte top coat it, and then once I've done that, I go back into my powder blue gel polish and I'm gonna start off with the design. Sorry that it's kind of blurry, it kind of goes in and out from focusing on my hand, but I'm gonna go in with the design. I just kind of do some straight lines. I get my little cleanup brush, and then once I've got the straight lines, I do this on both sides of the nail. Once I get the straight lines, I'm gonna go in, and most of them you guys have seen kind of like this little S type of pattern. To do that, I'm just doing 2 little hash marks all the way down. All right, any of these 90s kids, 80s babies can remember doing that, like S dollar sign, and we used to have to do that where you draw the 2 little lines, top and bottom, and then you connect them. That's pretty much what I'm doing. So I'm going 2 lines straight down all the way, and then I'm just gonna make a diagonal line connecting the left to the right, and it's simple as that. And I just go all the way down, and that's giving me my pattern. And then I'm just gonna also repeat this step to the left as well, or to the right. I'm gonna do the same thing. And then once I've done that on this side, I didn't have as much space, so I'm kind of just doing like little triangles, little V's with a dot in between. So a V going one direction and then a V facing the other direction, right? Kind of like a greater than, less than symbol, if you will. Now, once I've got that, I have to try to set this. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this clear acrylic powder, and I'm also just gonna use a little nail tip hat that I have, an extra nail tip, and that's gonna act as my little scooper so that I don't have to dip the whole wet nail into the actual acrylic powder, right? So once I do that, do not cure the gel, right? While it's still wet, I'm just gonna pour the acrylic powder directly on top of the gel polish, okay? That's the most important thing that I seen, was not curing the polish in between. It's just while it's wet, go ahead and dump that powder on it. And once you've got it, you know, coated well, you can go ahead and shake it out, and then you can go ahead and pop it under the lamp to actually cure, and that it'll hold it in place. So you can see right now what it looks like, and this is before curing, and it looks pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and cure, and then when I take it out, I'm honestly going to repeat the same steps because I want a more raised look. So I dust off all the excess powder that's still on there, and then I'm gonna grab my little detailer brush again and just go over the same patterns as I did before. If you want to do like, you know, half of it and then throw the powder on there and then do the other half, you can as well, right? If you don't want to like mess up, if you feel like you got something perfect, then you can just go ahead and throw that powder on there and set it, and then move on to the next thing, so that you don't have anything running. But yeah, so I just went over the whole pattern that I did before, everything, and then once again I scooped into the acrylic powder and I dumped it on top. And once I got it all covered really good, I just, you know, shake off the excess, and then I go ahead and I set it under the lamp and I cure it for a full 2 minutes under my UV lamp. Once I take it out, you can see that this is what my nail looks like, and you can see it's a little bit more raised, and so you can really see all of those features in the nail, and I think it actually came out really good for my first try. I would probably suggest to use a finer detailer brush than what I used. It was kind of a little, I don't know, really didn't come to a fine point tip, so some of my lines kind of blend into each other, but I think it still came out well for my first time. So then I decided I wanted to do kind of multiple colors, so I'm going to take this 338 and this 330 onto a clear tip that I've already applied a base gel on, and then with this I'm just going to go in, and I actually got a fine tip detailer brush for this one, and I'm just going to make a diagonal line with this red, and then I'm going to take the brush directly out of the bottle and then just try to fill in this red so that that whole bottom third is completely covered in the gel polish. And then you can go ahead and cure that in the lamp, or you can flash cure it, whatever you're comfortable with, but you can go ahead and cure that. And then I'm going to take the green and I'm going to do the same thing on the upper third of the nail. So I'm just taking that detailer brush after I've cleaned it off with just some acetone, and then I'm doing the same thing directly into the bottle, and then I'm going to just paint the tip of that nail, and then I'm going to go ahead and let that cure in the lamp as well. Okay, so for the middle I decided just to be a little bit different. I didn't want to do light, so instead I chose to go in with this tan, this 296. It's kind of like a, yeah, it's like a brownish mustardy tan. So I just filled in the clear space with this, and then as with the other nails, I just went in, and after I cleaned up my lines, I went in with the brush from the bottle, and then I just painted and filled it in. This one was a little bit thicker, and so I couldn't get it really to smooth out as much as I wanted to. I guess I just went in with a little bit too much product on the brush, but whenever there's lumps and bumps, you know there's always a great way to fix it. And for me in this case, I decided I'm gonna go in first with some matte top coat, because I am gonna make this still into a sweater nail. Okay, so I did a matte top coat like we did with the last nail, and I let that cure. And then, as I said before, because of the lumpiness, I decided to get some glitter, and I'm going in with 296, and then I'm just applying this glitter just to that midsection, and there you go, the lumps and bumps are all gone and you can't see them anymore. So whenever you're making a mistake, guys, you just bling it out or add some glitter, and it's gonna hide all of your mistakes. Okay, so once I got that, I just let that cure on its own, and now you can see that I do have some little lumps and bumps in my green, but I really wasn't worried because, like I said, I added that same sweater pattern that we did on the last one, so my footage kind of got lost, but it's the same steps. So I take my detailer brush, I made my little pattern, and then I dumped the acrylic powder on there, dusted off, and then here I am going in with the second layer just to show that those details really are raised from the nail. So just like before, you get the color and you go directly over. You want to make sure you do not cure the gel on its own. So while it's wet, I'm just going over those same lines that I did here. I'm doing it in red. And then I'm going to go over and do the same thing on the green. The green really looked good. Maybe it was just the dark color contrast that really helped it stand out. But then, as again, I took my MeiaSoQuick clear acrylic powder and another clear tip nail just to dump it, use it as a scoop to dump it all over the nail on this wet gel polish to let it go ahead and set. Once I got that, I threw it under the lamp to cure, and when it came out, that's what it looked like. And then I'm taking the top gel and I'm only applying this over the glitter, right? Doesn't that look so smooth, right? You kind of probably forgot that it was glitter because that acrylic powder was kind of dulling it and making it look like didn't have glitter at all. So you just want to take that top coat and only apply it to that glitter section so that that can really actually come out. And then you can go ahead and give that a final cure. You don't need to put any top coat over the other portions of the nail. They are all good. And that is what the nail came out to look like, right? Just a completely different design. So here are both of my sweater or velvet nails, or whatever you want to call them, side by side. And this was really fun. I can definitely see trying to do plenty of different designs, or I probably even could have did a snowflake like this as well. But go out there, experiment, have fun with it, guys. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to like, comment, or subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, bye.